Talk to me about adding that seventh chapter and this theme of prayer. You guys have launched prayer rooms in New York City. There's been a real sense following you and your content that prayer isn't just a thing you do. It's becoming like one of the main things. Can you speak to that value and just how that's taken hold and root in your life?
Yes, well, prayer, a couple of things. Number one, Jesus, so it's not how much you pray. So the Pharisees prayed a lot. Jesus said, you think you'll be heard because of your many words. That's not how it works. So I want to acknowledge that there could be a self-righteousness and a legalism and superiority that's connected to like being a person of prayer in a praying church. Our ability to moralize and form self-righteousness out of any good thing is breathtaking. I think prayer is based on hunger. I don't pray because I like the discipline of prayer itself. I find prayer hard a lot. I pray because I want God. Mm. I want the person that I'm talking to. I want more of God's presence. I want more of his reality. I want more of his thoughts. I want to hear from him. I'm not trying to be like the prophets of Baal who just get like worked up into a frenzy and try and get God to change God's mind. So the motives behind it to me are tremendously important. So we pray because we want him. Mm. We pray because we love the world and we know that prayer changes what happens in it. We pray for our friends because we feel powerless and limited. And after we've done everything, it's not enough and we need someone greater and more powerful to break in. So I think it's a combination of, and, studying the history of revivals and seeing what God can do. This isn't it. There's a great invitation for more. So I think all of those forces behind it sort of, they got me to the point as a leader and they got our church to the point where it was just like, this is it, man. What else is there? And so I feel like we've been both invited and backed into a corner by God around the issue of seeking him and our powerlessness and the importance of the hour in which we live and the opportunity before us. And so we're like, let's just seek him above all things. So that's the heart. Now, establishing it is real work. It costs, our church puts, no exaggeration, hundreds of thousands of dollars into our prayer ministry every year. It's expensive. We have multiple staff on this. We have just a sea of godly volunteers. And so we've tried to build scalable, a model, some practices in essence to be able to build that out and sustain that. But that's basically how it's emerged into our church. Yeah, so we launched a ministry called Pray.nyc, which is basically what we call we have an internal prayer culture and an externally faced one. The internal one is primarily around formation and care, ministry times, that sort of thing. The outward one is about intercession and basically equipping the church to contend for spiritual awakening across our region. So it's sort of split with two focuses, and we have teams that work on both of those things.
And then tell me some of the rhythms of the prayer room, but then also I'd love to hear about, I think there's a history way before you of pastors in New York praying together that you're part of. I'd love to hear about both the prayer rooms, but then also that group of pastors that's meeting and praying for the city.
The prayer room, Corey Russell, I don't know if you know Corey, but Corey is my favorite preacher on earth. There's nobody who stirs my spirit like Corey Russell. Just a fire-breathing, tongue-speaking, old-school prophetic man of God. So Corey Russell said to me, I didn't know about IHOP. I didn't know all these things. I just had a heart for prayer. And so the lady that directs Pray.nyc did an internship, and Corey was one of her leaders there. And we were having a conversation one day, and she played me some of Corey's stuff, and I was like, this is what it sounds like in my heart. Who's this person? So I called up Corey and I brought him to New York and just did a day of questions with him. And he said everything I didn't expect. He said, don't try to do 24/7 prayer. It'll crush you. It'll become legalism. It'll be death. He said, do one prayer meeting, make it amazing, and then do two. If the second one sucks, just go back to one and then rebuild and then try two again. And he said, scale at the pace of life. Scale at the pace of God's presence and energy and grace. And doesn't mean that it's not hard, but you have a sense of like, we're forcing this in the flesh, or like we're stretching in the spirit. And so that was so freeing. So we, you know, our whole prayer ministry started with 4 hours a week. I just basically said to our church staff, God have mercy on us. We've been running our church as prayerless leaders. We will start our day in prayer. And that's how it started. It started calling our staff to pray. You'd be amazed at how many pastors and church staff don't pray. They may do like basically grace over the day. Thanks for today, Lord. Bless everything we do. Amen. You're not going to get power. You're not going to get the book of Acts out of a grace prayer over your day. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying, if you want more, it's just got a different value set.